Okay, as we were on the topic of language, and Hindi specifically, I just want to know, you were talking more so, you said that things like not wearing your shoes or eating with your hand is not as important. So is speaking Hindi or language in general, isn't it just like that? Or is there some deeper aspect to speaking Hindi?
Very good point. Firstly, I didn't say that other customs are unimportant. What I said is that those other customs they do not necessarily include in the custom a deep philosophical significance. A lot of people, eat with their hands, and it's basic hygiene. It's like, you can learn to play tennis. That's not necessarily of a particular civilization. Yeah. So those are basic hygiene and good health. Those kind of things are fairly standard. But language contains the experience of thousands of years of a culture contained in language. So another language may not have the word yoga in it. They don't have a word for yoga because they didn't have that experience. And you can't translate yoga as exercise or prayer or gymnastics or something of that kind, because what it means is just yoga only, and there is no word for it in English. Similarly, you take a word like Shakti. You don't have another word like that in the English language. So language has evolved over time to represent experiences that people had. And in another part of the world, they did not have that experience necessarily. So if I say, apple, many people have had apple, they got a name for it. It's the same thing, same object and same experience. But when I say yoga, that's not a standard thing that everybody has had. So I think this is the reason language is a much more substantial distinction. The people who know the language can read poetry, read literature, read philosophy, read history that is original, and not depend on the translations that may be distorted. So you feel confident and comfortable that way. Language is also important because if somebody wants to argue about my culture, I will tell him that the word for this, somebody wants to say, okay, you got a problem in caste. First thing I'll tell him is there's no word like caste in our language. It's an English word. It's a Portuguese word. There's no word caste in Sanskrit. So we have jati and we have varna. So let's talk about that. Half the time that guy doesn't know what to say because he doesn't even know what it means. So now the debate has shifted to my terms. I control the debate because I know the terminology in which the debate has to happen, So I want to make clear that I would prefer if somebody knew a full language, but if they don't know the full language, they should learn certain words. They should learn certain words, and in this book, Being Different, I introduce about 20 plus some words, 20 odd words, which don't have a translation in English, proper translation. People should read certain words in order to, even if you're speaking in English, then those words you use from Sanskrit only, just those words. You make them part of your English vocabulary. That way, you don't have to. You can be a fluent English-speaking person, but you use those words from our language.